Hello, dear friends. I trust you're having a wonderful day. Today, let's explore a topic that resonates deeply with many of us: the experience of closed doors in our lives. We've all encountered moments when, despite our earnest prayers and best laid plans, opportunities slip away and the paths we hope to tread become inaccessible. It's in these times that we may feel disheartened or question the reasons behind these closures. However, as we'll discuss today, these closed doors often serve a greater purpose in God's divine plan. Consider a time when you pursued a particular goal with all your heart. Perhaps it was a dream job, a relationship, or a personal project. You invested time, energy, and resources believing it was the right path. Yet, despite your efforts, the door closed firmly. And such experiences can be discouraging, leading us to question our decisions and even our faith. But what if God is not rejecting us, but redirecting us to something better? What if in His wisdom He is steering us toward a greater purpose? When we encounter closed doors, it is essential to remember that God's perspective transcends our own. He sees the broader picture and knows what lies ahead. A closed door might protect us from unforeseen challenges or prepare us for opportunities that align more closely with His will. As it says in Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10, "I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please." This reminds us that God's decisions are sovereign, and His guidance is perfect. There are several reasons why God may close a door. First, sometimes what seems like a lost opportunity is actually God protecting us from harm or failure we cannot foresee. We may feel disappointment at the moment, but later we realize that the path we wanted to take would not have been good for us. Second, a closed door can serve as a test of faith, deepening our dependence on God and strengthening our character. When our plans do not unfold as expected, it allows us to exercise trust in God's will and believe that He knows best. Third, God may close a door because He has something far greater in store. We may think that we know what is best for us, but God, in His infinite wisdom, directs our steps toward something even greater. Lastly, we may not be ready for the blessing we desire, and God, in His wisdom, may be preparing us for it at a later stage. Sometimes delays and detours refine us, molding us into the people we need to become in order to receive the blessings He has in store for us. It is natural to feel disappointment when faced with a closed door. However, instead of viewing it as a setback, we can choose to see it as a divine detour, steering us toward a path that leads to greater fulfillment and purpose. Trusting in God's timing and wisdom becomes crucial during these moments. As Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11 states, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end." When you face a closed door, remember to pray for guidance and ask God for clarity and wisdom in understanding His plan. Continue to trust that He is leading you to something greater. Often when one door closes, another door will open, one that is better suited for your journey. Reflect on past closed doors and remind yourself of previous disappointments that led to unexpected blessings. Sometimes what felt like an obstacle was actually an open door in disguise, leading to something much better than we originally imagined. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that our plans may not align with God's plans. It is difficult when we map out our future, set our goals, and do our best, only to see everything unravel before our eyes. But what if the plans we made were never the best for us in the first place? What if God was gently leading us away from something that would not fulfill us the way we imagined? When a door closes, the natural response is frustration and confusion. We ask questions like, "Did I do something wrong?" Or, "Why would God allow this to happen?" But rather than focusing on what went wrong, we must shift our perspective to what God is doing. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23 states, "Lord, I know that people's lives are not their own. It is not for them to direct their steps." This verse reminds us that while we make our plans, it is ultimately God who directs our steps. Sometimes we become so fixated on reaching a specific destination that we miss the beauty of the journey. A closed door can be frustrating, but it is also an invitation to grow, reflect, and trust in God's plan. Life is not about rushing to the finish line. It is about experiencing God's presence along the way. Perhaps you are facing a closed door in your career, relationships, or personal aspirations. Instead of dwelling on what didn't happen, take this time to explore new opportunities, strengthen your relationship with God, and appreciate the blessings already present in your life. Psalm chapter 37 verse 4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." When we focus on God rather than the outcome, we find unexpected joy and fulfillment. The closed door you are facing might not be a failure, it might be a divine setup for something greater. Trust in the process, embrace the lessons, and remember that God's ways are always higher than our own. Waiting for an open door can be one of the most challenging aspects of our faith journey. The uncertainty, the doubts, and the silence can make us question whether God is really listening. However, it is in these waiting seasons that God does His greatest work within us. If you are in a season where every door seems closed, take heart. God is not ignoring you. He is preparing you. A season of waiting is not a season of wasting. God is refining you, strengthening your faith, and aligning your heart with His will. Just as a seed must remain buried in the soil before it can grow, we must sometimes be in a place of stillness before we can fully blossom into the purpose God has for us. One of the key aspects of navigating through closed doors is understanding the importance of God's timing. As humans, we often rush into decisions, wanting things to happen quickly and according to our own timeline. However, God sees the bigger picture, and His timing is always perfect. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." When God closes a door, it can feel like a delay, but it may very well be that He is protecting us from something we don't yet see. Perhaps the timing isn't right, or He's allowing us time to grow, mature, and become prepared for the blessings ahead. In our impatience, we might think we're being denied, but in reality, God is setting us up for the right moment. Consider the story of Joseph in Genesis. Joseph was given dreams of greatness, but he experienced years of setbacks, betrayals, and imprisonment. Each closed door in his life seemed to push him further away from his dreams. Yet at the appointed time, Joseph was raised up to a position of great power in Egypt, which ultimately saved his family during a time of famine. His journey through closed doors was not a denial, but a preparation for the purpose God had for him. As Genesis chapter 50 verse 20 reveals, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This story shows us that closed doors are not always a rejection of our desires. They are sometimes part of a process that aligns us with God's greater purpose. His timing in opening doors can also be the perfect moment for us to step into what He has for us, equipped with the experience and understanding we've gained through waiting. Another crucial response to closed doors is cultivating patience and perseverance. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. But these times offer an opportunity to practice faith and trust. The Bible speaks often about perseverance in the face of trials. Romans chapter 5 verses 3 and 4 say, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character hope." Closed doors often lead us into seasons where we must wait and endure. While it can be difficult to see the end result in those moments, we are developing qualities that will serve us well in the future. It's not just about waiting passively, it's about continuing to trust and grow while we wait. James chapter 1 verses 2 to 4 encourages us, Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Through perseverance, we strengthen our relationship with God, deepen our trust in His plan, and build resilience. This process helps us recognize that God is not only shaping our circumstances, but also shaping us into the people He needs us to be for the next phase of His purpose. While we often focus on the closed doors in our lives, it's essential to recognize that each closed door is also an invitation to explore new possibilities. God is constantly working, opening new doors that may lead to a future beyond our imagination. In fact, when one door closes, it may be a sign that God is opening another that is better aligned with His plan for us. In Revelation chapter 3, verse 8, God says, "See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." This verse speaks of opportunities that God sets before us, doors that no one can close, no matter how difficult the circumstances. As we trust God through the closed doors, we become more attuned to the new doors He is opening in our lives. Sometimes the closed door we mourn over was simply a sign that a better opportunity awaited us. Whether it's a new career path, a different relationship, or a new place to live, God's plans are always better than our own. He sees what we cannot see, and His perspective is eternal. The closed door you are facing right now might just be leading you to something far better than what you originally desired. As we reflect on God's sovereignty in the midst of closed doors, it's crucial to remember that He is always in control. Our understanding of the world is limited, but God sees the full picture from beginning to end. When doors close, we can trust that He has a purpose behind it, and that purpose is always for our good and His glory. In these times, it's important to hold fast to the truths of Scripture and lean into God's promises. He is faithful, He is good, and His plans for us are always filled with hope. As Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." So the next time you face a closed door, instead of focusing on the disappointment, focus on the opportunities that lie ahead. Trust in God's timing. Embrace the season of waiting, and hold on to the truth that He is always working on your behalf, preparing you for a future that is far greater than anything you could imagine. At times, the waiting period after a door has closed can feel overwhelming, but in that waiting, God is working. He is shaping your heart, refining your faith, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Do not be discouraged by closed doors, for they are often God's way of leading you to something greater. As we conclude today's reflection, let's hold on to the truth that closed doors are not the end of the journey. They are often the beginning of a new path crafted by God's loving hands. Embracing this perspective allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with faith and hope. Thank you for joining me today. I encourage you to share your own experiences with closed doors in the comments below. How have you seen God's hand at work in these situations? Let's inspire and uplift one another with our stories. If you found this message encouraging, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting content. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.